Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the 2004 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition and explore its history, background, composition, collector demand, and the current market value in dollars. If you are a coin collector or someone who recently found this coin in a collection or old coin jar, this information can help you understand its real importance in the numismatic world. Let's begin with the history of the Australian 10-cent coin. Australia introduced the decimal currency system on February 14, 1966, replacing the old pound system. From that moment, the 10-cent coin became part of everyday transactions across the country. Over the decades, millions of these coins were produced, but each year of minting holds its own small story and significance. The 2004 Australian 10-cent coin was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and carries the portrait of the Queen on the obverse side. The portrait used during this time was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, showing the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This design was used on many Commonwealth coins during the early 2000s and is widely recognized by collectors. On the reverse side of the coin, we see one of the most iconic Australian coin designs, the lyrebird. The lyrebird is a beautiful native Australian bird, known for its impressive tail feathers and its ability to mimic sounds. The design was created by Stuart Devlin, a famous Australian silversmith and designer who designed several Australian decimal coins. The lyrebird design has remained unchanged on the 10-cent coin since 1966, which makes it one of the longest-running designs in Australian coinage. Because of this consistent design, collectors often focus more on the condition and year of the coin rather than the design itself. Now let's talk about the condition of a coin described as very fine. In coin collecting, condition is extremely important because it directly affects value. A very fine condition coin means the coin has clearly been circulated, but still retains many important design details. On a very fine 2004 Australian 10-cent coin, the feathers of the lyrebird are still visible, though slightly worn. The outlines of the bird remain clear, and the lettering around the coin is still sharp and readable. On the obverse side, the Queen's portrait is also visible with moderate wear, but the major features like the crown, facial outline, and inscription remain intact. Coins in this condition are considered collectible because they still show the original design clearly while carrying the natural signs of circulation. The background and composition of the Australian 10-cent coin also play an interesting role in its durability. Unlike older coins made of precious metals, the 10-cent coin is composed of cupronickel, a strong metal alloy consisting of nickel. This composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance and excellent resistance to corrosion and wear. Because of this durable composition, many Australian coins from the early 2000s still look relatively good, even after years of circulation. The coin weighs approximately and has a diameter of. Its edge is milled with fine ridges, which helps with grip and also prevents counterfeiting. When it comes to collector demand, the 2004 Australian 10-cent coin is not considered extremely rare, but it still holds interest among collectors who enjoy completing full-year sets of Australian decimal coins. Many collectors aim to gather every year of the 10-cent series from 1966 to the present day. For these collectors, each year, including 2004, has a place in their collection. Additionally, some collectors focus on coins with specific mint quality or coins that have survived in better condition than average circulation pieces. A very fine coin is often desirable for beginner collectors because it still shows detail but remains affordable compared to uncirculated examples. Another factor that affects collector demand is the mintage numbers for that year. The Royal Australian Mint produced millions of 10-cent coins in 2004 to support everyday transactions across the country. Because of this large production, the coin is relatively common. However, coins that remain in better condition after years of circulation can still attract collectors who want cleaner and more detailed examples. Now let's talk about the current market value of a 2004 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition. In most cases, circulated coins like this usually trade close to there because they were produced in large numbers. A typical 2004 Australian 10-cent coin in very fine condition may sell for around $1.20, 0 to $1.80, 0 Australian dollars, depending on the exact condition and where it is sold. If the coin appears slightly better than average or has sharper detail, collectors may pay a little more, sometimes around $1 Australian dollar. However, this still places the coin in the category of common collectible coins, rather than rare high-value pieces. It is also important to understand that the coin market can change depending on collector interest, auction platforms, and regional demand. Online marketplaces, coin shops, and collector fairs sometimes show small differences in price. Coins sold as part of a complete set or with verified grading may also attract a slightly higher price. For collectors who are interested in keeping or selling coins like this, a few helpful tips can make a big difference. First, always store coins in a safe and dry place to prevent scratches and environmental damage. Using coin holders, capsules, or album pages designed for coins can help preserve the condition. Avoid cleaning coins because cleaning can remove the natural surface and reduce the collector value. Even if a coin looks dull, experienced collectors prefer the original surface rather than a polished one. It is also useful to learn basic coin grading so you can better understand the condition of coins in your collection. Another helpful tip is to compare your coin with images from coin catalogs or trusted coin websites. This helps you see whether your coin has stronger details or heavier wear than other examples. If you believe your coin might be in better condition than very fine, it may be worth showing it to a professional coin dealer or submitting it to a grading service. As we come to the conclusion, the 2004 Australian 10-cent coin, in very fine condition, is a small but interesting piece of Australia's decimal currency history. It represents the continued legacy of the lyrebird design created by Stuart Devlin and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II that appeared on many coins during the early 2000 years. Although it is not a rare or highly valuable coin, it still holds importance for collectors who enjoy completing yearly sets or learning about Australian coinage. The coin's durable cupronickel composition, classic design, and connection to the Royal Australian Mint make it a meaningful addition to many collections. Even though its current market value is usually only a little above face value, every coin tells a story about the time in which it was minted and circulated. Next up, today we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many people may have seen in their pocket change, but never realized its potential importance. This is the Australia 10-cent coin from the year 2013, especially the rare rust black circulated condition coin that collectors are talking about today. Many coin enthusiasts are curious about its history, why some pieces look dark or rusty, and what their value could be in the collector's market today. So stay with me until the end of the video because you might learn something valuable about a small coin that could surprise you. The Australian 10-cent coin has a long and fascinating history that began in 1966, when Australia changed its currency system to decimal currency. Since that time, millions of 10-cent coins have been produced for everyday use. The 2013 version of this coin is part of that long tradition, but some circulated pieces have developed a very unusual appearance. Instead of the normal bright silver color, certain coins appear dark, blackened, or even slightly rust-like. This happens after years of circulation when coins are exposed to air, moisture, and different environmental conditions. These changes create a unique look that many collectors find interesting because each coin develops its own character over time. When we talk about the condition of a coin, it is one of the most important factors for collectors. A circulated coin means that the coin has been used in everyday transactions. It may have scratches, worn edges, or changes in color. In the case of the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin with a rust black appearance, the color change makes it stand out from normal coins. Even though this is not actual rust in most cases, the dark oxidation can give it a very distinctive look. Some collectors enjoy these unusual circulated coins because they represent real history and years of use in daily life. Another interesting aspect of the coin is its background design and composition. The Australian 10-cent coin features a beautiful design of the lyrebird on the reverse side. The lyrebird is famous in Australia for its ability to mimic sounds and is considered a symbol of the country's unique wildlife. On the front side of the coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which has appeared on Australian coins for many decades. The coin itself is made from a copper-nickel composition. This mixture of metals is designed to make the coin durable and resistant to wear during circulation. The copper-nickel blend also gives the coin its original silver-like color when it is newly minted. Now let's talk about collector demand. Coin collectors around the world enjoy searching for unusual coins. Sometimes rarity comes from low mintage numbers, and other times it comes from unusual conditions or unique appearances. The 2013 Australian 10-cent coin with a rust-black circulated look has gained interest because collectors enjoy coins that look different from typical pieces. Many hobbyists like to add unusual toned or oxidized coins to their collections because they tell a story about the coin's journey through circulation. In the coin collecting community, even common coins can become interesting when they develop unique features. A coin that looks different from the majority can sometimes attract curiosity and discussion among collectors. Online marketplaces, coin shops, and collector groups often show examples of these coins, and people compare their colors, patterns, and wear. Now let's discuss the current market value. The standard of an Australian 10-cent coin is, of course, 10 cents. In normal circulated condition, most 2013 coins are still worth close to there because they were produced in large numbers. However, coins that have unusual appearance, strong toning, or unique oxidation patterns can sometimes sell for a bit more to collectors who enjoy interesting pieces. Depending on the condition and the uniqueness of the dark rust-like tone, some collectors might pay anywhere from around $48,000 to $75,000 for an interesting example. In rare cases where the toning pattern is very unusual or visually striking, the price might be slightly higher in collector markets or online auctions. It is important to remember that coin values can change depending on demand, the coin's condition, and the interest of collectors at that time. For collectors who are interested in coins like this, there are some helpful tips to keep in mind. Always examine your coins carefully because sometimes valuable or interesting pieces can appear in everyday change. Avoid cleaning coins, especially those with unusual toning or oxidation, because cleaning can damage the natural surface and reduce collector interest. It is also a good idea to store coins in safe holders or coin albums to protect them from further damage. Learning about coin history, minting years, and metal compositions can also help collectors understand why certain coins attract attention. Many collectors also enjoy connecting with other hobbyists through coin clubs, online forums, or local coin dealers. These communities can help you learn more about rare coins and how to identify pieces that might have additional value. In conclusion, the 2013 Australian 10-cent rust black circulated coin is a great example of how everyday coins can become interesting collector items over time. While most of these coins remain close to their unique toning and unusual appearance, can sometimes attract attention in the collector market. The history of the Australian 10-cent coin, its beautiful lyrebird design, and its durable copper-nickel composition make it a fascinating piece of currency that has served millions of people over the years. For collectors, the real excitement comes from the search. Every coin has a story, and sometimes the most surprising discoveries can be found in the simplest places, like your pocket change. So keep checking your coins because you never know when you might find an interesting piece that adds something special to your collection. Next up, today we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many people might have seen but never realized its potential value. The coin we are discussing today is the Australian 10-cent coin that appears in a rare rust-black condition on both the front and back. Some collectors and coin enthusiasts believe that certain unusual surface changes and well-preserved examples of this coin can attract attention in the collector's market. Before we talk about the value, let's first understand the history of this coin. The Australian decimal coinage was introduced when Australia changed its currency system in 1966 from pounds and shillings to dollars and cents. The 10-cent coin quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The 2002 version of this coin was produced during the reign of Elizabeth II, and her portrait appears on the front side of the coin. This portrait was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, whose design appeared on many Commonwealth coins during that period. On the reverse side of the coin, we can see the famous Australian bird, known as the superb lyrebird. The design was created by Stuart Devlin. The lyrebird design is admired by collectors because of its elegant tail feathers and the artistic style used to capture the bird's beauty. Even though millions of these coins were produced, some pieces stand out due to unusual coloring or condition. Now let's talk about the background and composition of the coin. The Australian 10-cent coin is made from cupronickel, which is a mixture of and nickel. This metal composition gives the coin a silver-like appearance and strong durability. The coin has a round shape with a milled edge and weighs around with a diameter of about. Normally, this coin has a bright metallic color, but sometimes coins develop dark or rust-like tones due to environmental exposure, chemical reactions, or long circulation in pockets and containers. The rust-black condition that some collectors notice on a 2002 coin can happen because of oxidation, dirt accumulation, or other chemical reactions on the coin's surface. In some cases, collectors become interested in such coins if the color change looks unusual, or if the coin remains otherwise well preserved. However, it is very important to understand that discoloration does not always increase the value of a coin. In fact, collectors usually prefer coins that are in clean and uncirculated condition. But occasionally, a unique appearance can attract curiosity and discussion among coin enthusiasts. When we talk about collector demand, the value of a coin depends on several important factors. The first factor is rarity. If a coin was produced in small numbers or contains a minting error, collectors often compete to own it. The second factor is condition. Coins that have little wear, sharp details, and original shine are usually more valuable. The third factor is collector interest. Sometimes a coin becomes popular because people start searching for it or sharing it on social media and online marketplaces. For the 2002 Australian 10-cent coin, the mintage was quite large, which means it is generally considered a common coin in circulation. Because of that, most regular examples of this coin are usually worth around there, which is 10 cents. However, coins that are in brilliant uncirculated condition or part of collector sets may sell for around $1, 40,000 to 40,000 Australian dollars in the collector's market. In some online listings, coins with unusual dark toning or rust-black surfaces are sometimes offered for higher prices, but the actual selling price usually depends on whether a collector truly wants that specific appearance. Today in the market, if someone owns a 2002 Australian 10-cent coin with heavy circulation and dark discoloration, the realistic value is typically between 10 cents and about $1. If the coin is in better condition or comes from a mint set, it might reach $2 or $3 to the right buyer. Exceptional pieces with unique toning might occasionally be listed for more, but confirmed high sales are relatively rare. For collectors who are interested in coins like this, there are some helpful tips to keep in mind. The first tip is always to examine the coin carefully under good lighting, so you can see the details clearly. The second tip is to avoid cleaning the coin because cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its collector value. Another important tip is to store coins in protective holders or coin albums so they remain safe from moisture, dust, and scratches. It is also useful to compare your coin with examples from trusted numismatic websites or catalogs to understand its true rarity and value. Coin collecting is not only about money, it is also about history, art, and the stories behind each piece of currency. A small coin like the 2002 Australian 10-cent piece carries decades of history, a beautiful design, and a connection to the era of Queen Elizabeth II. For many collectors, simply finding an interesting variation or unusual condition coin can be exciting and rewarding. As we conclude today's discussion, remember that the 2002 Australian 10-cent coin is generally a common coin, but certain examples with attractive condition or unusual toning can still capture the attention of collectors. While most pieces remain close to their well-preserved coins, can sell for a few dollars in the collector's market. The most important thing is to enjoy the hobby, keep learning, and always check your coins carefully, because sometimes a small discovery can turn into a fascinating collectible. Next, today, we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many collectors and even ordinary people may already have in their pockets or old coin jars. This is the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin, especially the one that appears in a rust-brown circulated condition. Many people become curious when they see a silver coin turning slightly brown over time and start wondering if it might be rare or valuable. In this video, we will explore the history of this coin, its physical condition, the background and composition of the metal, the demand among collectors, the current market value, and some useful tips for coin collectors. Let's start with the history of the coin. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia switched to a decimal currency system. Before that time, Australia used pounds, shillings, and pence. When decimalization arrived, new coins were created for everyday transactions, and the 10-cent coin quickly became one of the most common coins used in daily life. The design of this coin has remained very consistent for decades. On the front side, also called the obverse, the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was the monarch of Australia for many decades. The reverse side shows a beautiful design of a lyrebird, a unique Australian bird known for its incredible ability to mimic sounds. This elegant design was created by Stuart Devlin, the designer of many Australian decimal coins. Now let's talk about the specific 1983 version of this coin. The 1983 Australian 10-cent coin was produced at the Royal Australian Mint. During that year, millions of 10-cent coins were minted to meet the needs of circulation across the country. Because such a large number were produced, most of these coins are still considered common in normal circulated condition. However, collectors sometimes become interested in coins that develop unusual colors or surfaces over time. One example is when a coin develops a rust-brown appearance, which can happen because of oxidation, dirt accumulation, or environmental exposure during circulation. Even though if the 10-cent coin is not made of iron, people often call the color change rust. In reality, the coin is made from cupronickel, which is an alloy consisting of about over many years of circulation. The copper component can react with moisture, oils, or air, causing the surface to darken and sometimes appear brownish. This is why some older coins look very different from their original bright silver color. The background of the coin's metal composition plays an important role in how the coin ages. When the coin remains in circulation for decades, it may develop toning, scratches, and wear marks that reflect its journey through countless hands and transactions. When we look at the condition of a circulated 1983 10-cent coin with a rust-brown appearance, we usually notice smooth areas where the design has been slightly worn. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the front may show light wear on the hair and crown. On the reverse side, the lyrebird design might also appear slightly flattened in the highest points. This kind of wear is normal for coins that have been used for many years. In coin collecting, this type of coin is described as circulated, which simply means it has been used in everyday transactions, rather than being preserved in mint condition. Now let's discuss collector demand. In general, most 1983 Australian 10-cent coins are not considered rare because they were minted in large numbers. However, collectors sometimes look for coins that show unusual toning, interesting color variations, or exceptional preservation. A rust-brown tone can sometimes make a coin visually unique, especially if the color is even and attractive. Some collectors enjoy collecting toned coins because each one looks slightly different. While this color change alone does not automatically make the coin rare, it can still attract curiosity among collectors who appreciate natural aging and character in coins. Another factor that influences collector demand is the condition of the coin. Coins that remain in brilliant, uncirculated condition usually have the highest demand and value. Circulated coins with heavy wear generally have lower values, but they can still be interesting for beginner collectors who want to build a collection without spending too much money. The 1983 Australian 10-cent coin in circulated rust-brown condition typically falls into this category. It is more of a conversation piece and historical collectible rather than a highly rare investment coin. When we look at the current market value, the price of a circulated 1983 Australian 10-cent coin is usually quite modest. In most cases, a normal circulated coin may sell for around $1.10, $0 to $1.50, 0 Australian dollars, which is close to its If the coin has particularly attractive toning or slightly better condition, some collectors may pay around $1.75, 0 to $2.10, 0 Australian dollars. Exceptionally well-preserved coins from 1983 that remain uncirculated can sometimes reach $2.50, $0 or more, especially if graded or stored carefully. However, a typical rust-brown circulated coin usually stays in the lower price range because many similar coins exist. For collectors who are interested in coins like this, there are some helpful tips to keep in mind. First, always check your coins carefully because sometimes small variations or errors can make a big difference in value. While most 1,983 Australian 10-cent coins are common, rare minting errors can occasionally appear and attract strong interest from collectors. Second, avoid cleaning your coins. Cleaning can damage the natural surface and actually reduce the value. Many collectors prefer coins with natural toning because it shows the authentic aging process. Third, it is a good idea to store coins in proper holders, coin flips, or albums to protect them from further damage and environmental exposure. Another useful tip is to research and compare coins before selling or buying them. Online marketplaces, coin auctions, and collector forums often show real examples of coins being sold. This can help you understand the true market value and avoid unrealistic expectations. Even though the 1,983 Australian 10-cent coin is usually not extremely valuable, it still represents a piece of Australian monetary history, and many collectors enjoy keeping these coins as part of a larger collection. In conclusion, the 1,983 Australian 10-cent coin with a rust-brown circulated appearance is a fascinating example of how everyday coins can change over time. Its history connects to Australia's transition to decimal currency, and its design reflects the artistic work of Stuart Devlin and the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. While most coins from this year are common and typically worth only a small amount above their face value, they still hold interest for collectors who appreciate natural toning and historical currency. For beginners in coin collecting, coins like this are a great starting point because they are affordable, easy to find, and full of character.